Past 48 hours, hundreds, if not thousands of migrants have continued to seek shelter on the streets near downtown El Paso. Many of the local organizations that help migrants say they're overwhelmed again.
And that raises a question of how so many people are getting across successfully, even though they may be doing it illegally. KFOX 14 News at 9's Jonathan Mejia joining us now live from Sacred Heart, where he spoke with migrants to find out how they got to El Paso illegally without being caught. Jonathan.
Hundreds of migrants have made their way to El Paso, and as you can see right now at this hour, there are migrants outside of Sacred Heart Church because inside the shelters there are all over capacity. Now, once again, we're seeing migrants having to spend their nights here on the streets of El Paso. Today, I was given exclusive inside access to what has become the epicenter for migrants, Sacred Heart Church, and Father Rafael Garcia says they're doing everything they can to help.
We're surviving. We're trying to do the best we can. We're again trying to fit in as many as we can that we reasonably can handle, but we need a lot of support.
Sacred Heart Church has become the epicenter for migrants who have entered the country and find themselves in El Paso. Father Rafael Garcia says they're open to help both documented and undocumented migrants, but with 2 weeks to go until Title 42 is lifted, he says the situation inside the church is already unsustainable.
I mean, we can handle so many, but this is beyond our control and beyond our capacities.
The city of El Paso and the county cannot help undocumented migrants because it could compromise their access to federal funding. Local shelters say without the city and county's help, a solution is needed quickly.
It's hard for us because we cannot respond to everyone's needs, so that's why I think the city or the government entities have to step up and do something because we cannot handle all this.
In the last couple of days, according to CBP, the El Paso sector is seeing about 1,350 migrants a day since the month of April. Hundreds have shown up here in the streets of El Paso. Such was the case for this Venezuelan migrant who crossed the border illegally but paid a major price, not only monetarily but physically as well.
Cuando ya estoy descendiendo, desafortunadamente.
She says she lost control and her balance and fell. After flying from Colombia to Mexico City, she took a bus to Juarez, and while she didn't have a tough journey through the Darien Gap like her fellow Venezuelans, she says she paid a higher price falling from the wall.
Acciones que llevan a que uno.
After growing frustrated with the CBP One app, she says it's easy for people to criticize that decision, but also told me being on the other side is different. Another Venezuelan migrant tells me he had to enter the country illegally through a hole on the border wall after growing frustrated with the CBP One app. Sacred Heart Church has a lot of injured migrants, but they say everything they went through was worth getting to the United States. And while Title 42 ends on May 11th, that day has Sacred Heart Church and other shelters worried.
I do worry. I don't think nobody seems to know what's going to happen after May 11th. Again, we will focus on what we can do and to try to do that well.
Sacred Heart Church is in need of volunteers and donations. If you're wondering how you can help, you can click on this story on our website at kfoxtv.com. I'm live in South El Paso, Jonathan Mejia, KFOX 14 News at 9.
All right, so as we just